Lee Merkel is our regional manager for the Department of Local Affairs. His region of the state is Southeast Colorado. That is why he is up front introducing, and he is a great collaborator, and love working with all of Southeast Colorado. So
Thanks,
thank you.
Elizabeth. And you sort of forgot to mention that it was your favorite region of the state, too.
We can't say that at state meetings.
I'm just going to tell it like it is. I'm Lee Merkel. I'm the regional manager for Southeast Colorado. And Southeast, what we're talking about with Region 6, Southeast Colorado, is 2/3 of what DOLA calls Southeast Colorado. So I actually have, I'm sorry we don't have a map, but you've been looking at maps all morning. If you think about Pueblo, which is where my office is, everything to the east and the south of that, the 9 counties, is my region, Southeast Colorado. And Stephanie's region, which is Region 6, is 2/3 of that, 6 of those 9 counties. The other 3 are down where Trinidad, Walsenburg, and Pueblo are, which is Los Animas, Huerfano, and Pueblo counties. So anyway, Southeast Colorado, also known as the Lower Arkansas, when I started this job 15 years ago, I have to tell you, I had been there once. I'd been living in the mountains of Colorado for 25 years, and I think I'd been there like on my way to climb mountains and stuff. I'd driven through Walsenburg and Pueblo and stuff. Anyway, it opened my eyes. It's a really cool part of the state, and I love it. It's a challenged part of the state in many ways because the population is shrinking in almost every one of my counties. Pueblo kind of holds its own, but the rest of them pretty much either stay the same within a percentage point or part of a percentage point, or they are dropping. And it's because of agriculture, aging population, kids not coming back after they go off to college or get a career somewhere until maybe they're thinking about retiring and they go home to take care of their parents, that sort of thing. But it's also got an incredible strength. You think about things like the history of that southeast part of the state. Some of the earliest areas settled, the Santa Fe Trail, the incredible activity around Pueblo and the steel mill that carved that part of the state out in the 1860s and 70s as an industrial base that still exists today, even though it's nothing like it was 30 or 40 or 50 years ago. At any rate, the southeast part of the state is largely agricultural, has a lot of assets, heritage, historic tourism, really cool history, balmy climate. We actually think one of the futures of Southeast is retirees. A lot of people really like that low cost of housing, quality of life, and the mild climate. So all of that put together, I'm going to just introduce Stephanie Gonzales, who is the manager, executive director, I should say, of SECED, which is Southeast Colorado Enterprise District Development. And she's basically an enterprise and economic development-oriented role, but she also is Southeast Colorado Council of Governments. So she has a local government, regional government presence that we also respect and collaborate with on a number of things. And I just have to say, I don't want to be too glistening in this, but I think Stephanie is a real breath of fresh air for them. It's been pretty sleepy for most of my tenure, the 15 years I've been there. When we'd have regional things that we would try to engage with, they would hardly ever have anything they would step up with. But that has changed in the last year and a half since Stephanie came back. So I'm going to let her talk about that, and it is a pleasure to be here and to introduce Stephanie Gonzales.
I'm honored to be here to represent the counties of Southeast Colorado. For those of you who aren't familiar, we've had a brief description of what it entails. For those areas that we are referring to, we are referred to as Southeast, Lower Arkansas Valley, rural Colorado, or as I've just recently been told, frontier. Now, if that doesn't sound a bit Star Trek-ish, but in all reality, we believe it's a good description. We are vital. We are a vital, wonderful frontier that is beckoning to those around us to discover great assets that we have to offer. You've heard today about our declines in population, stagnant growth, but I'm going to give you the positives. The counties that are included in our region include Baca, Bent, Crowley, Kiowa, Otero, and Prowers counties. Each is unique in its own right. From the smallest to the largest, we support each other, and we know that collectively we will have the largest voice. Some of the counties that border Kansas, some of our counties border Kansas, Oklahoma, a small corner of New Mexico, so we're as far east as you can get us. We're flatland for the most part with fields and wide open spaces, and as far as the eye can see. But we're hilly in others, and we have hidden treasures and views. We're blazing hot in the summers, cold at times, dry in the winters. That's unusual to say that, but we're cold. But it's not unusual to experience whiteouts, blizzards, and for those of us, like myself, spring and fall are favorite seasons. We're known at times for dirt storms that resemble those of the Dust Bowl era. But however, this year, spring and summer brought abundant rain, which helped with a really great harvest. I've heard it say that the best economic development can come in the form of an abundant rain. Yes, we're mainly agricultural. We're ranchers and farmers, but we're business people. We're young, we're old, and most of all, we're hardworking. We're small town living, where you're likely to know generations of families. We're in an area where a 20-mile drive actually takes 20 minutes, with the only delays being the occasional tractor or farm equipment that might slow you down, or better yet, deer, antelope, other animals that might cross your path and keep your speed in check. Our population is a total of 46,548 people, but unfortunately, from 2015 and 2016, we've experienced 4.79 overall decrease. We see our largest decline from the college-aged population, just as Lee mentioned. They leave. They want to go get their education, and sometimes a lot of them don't come back. We strive to find ways to encourage them to come back, to raise families, start businesses, and use their talents to grow Southeast Colorado. Historically, the economy for Region 6 has largely been ranching and farming. However, some of our largest employers include government, hospitals, community colleges, manufacturing, and private prisons. It's not unusual for employees to make a 50 to 60-mile commute to work in the neighboring county. Broadband is getting better. We have great effort with DOLA. Lee is our champion for improving broadband. So telecommuting is a great way for Southeast Colorado to have residents who live here, live there, and then telecommute to anywhere in the world. We're a crossroads for transportation with major highways intersecting at highways 50, 71, 287, and 385. We see an enormous amount of freight trucks on our roads. We're part of the Ports to Plains corridor, which runs from Mexico to Canada. It's very common to see an average of 4,500 freight trucks traveling north and south on Highway 287 through communities of Baca, Prowers, and Kiowa counties. The opportunity for freight and exporting is a viable thing for prospective businesses. In my 2 years, or almost 2 years, as the regional executive director, I will be the first to report at every meeting. Some of the same issues come up. We have challenges which include and are not limited to housing, lack of available funding, workforce, and finally marketing. Inadequate housing is the top of the list. You've heard it everywhere you go. There's always a housing shortage. If we were to bring a business to our area, where are we going to put those employees? The first thing that we are asked from prospective employers are, where's the housing? But because of the nature of the housing market in rural Colorado, employees, especially those with families, find it very difficult to find suitable places to rent and or build. Our housing market is a little different. Our comp values are just not there in order to be able to get a new start for housing. And we need to find different ways to try and encourage that growth. And how do we change that stagnant value in rural Colorado? We're all asking ourselves that same question. We're appreciative of the initiatives that are in place for providing funding to rural Colorado. DOLA, OEDIT, Division of Housing, CDOT, and Rural Development are vital funding sources to our area of the state. Smaller communities still find it a little difficult to raise that money for match, but that's okay, we're working on that. We're glad to be partners with the entities that the state and programs that they provide. Growing a skilled workforce is an area that our community colleges have taken a more active role in providing much needed training programs to produce a skilled workforce in our local economies, from welders to nurses, building trades, renewable energy, agribusiness, agriculture training programs. Our 2 community colleges take pride in addressing the needs of communities and the businesses within those communities to help train individuals to be productive, skilled workers that become part of and are valued assets with local employers. So now, how do we broadcast to the world that we are a great place to live? That's why I'm here. I'm a cheerleader for Southeast Colorado. I believe that we have assets that are there. We're affordable. We have lots of land. We have infrastructure. Some of it may need work, but with Lee's help and other programs, we're working on it. Our communities try very hard to put ourselves on the map. And in the last 2, 3, 4 years, there's been a better effort. Southeast Business Retention, Expansion, and Attraction, better known as SABRIA, is one of our partners in doing that. It is a great opportunity for all of us to get together and have that greater voice. That entity meets monthly, just like our organization does, to discuss what are the issues and how can we address them. We have a great marketing through tourism. We have lots of great places to come and visit if anyone wants to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city. We have wonderful attractions such as the Santa Fe Trail, Bent's Fort, Boggsville. We have birding, we have canyons and lakes around our region. We know we're a great place to visit, but now we need to make it well known. We're a great place to live and work. So you've heard enough, I'm sure. We don't have some things, and we have needs for other things. So now I'm going to give you a brief update on each of our counties and the great things that they have in them. I would say the success of each county comes from the true champions in each respective county, those who live there and believe in the betterment of each county or municipality. Those champions might consist of community members, elected officials, municipal and county employees, but I want to point out that the economic developers in these counties are dynamic, they're forward thinkers. They are always looking for new and improved ways of growing their communities. They assess, they determine what works, what doesn't work, and then they work to improve on it, always looking to attract new or enhance existing businesses. I applaud them for their efforts, and I'm glad that they're my partners. Bent County has several tourist attractions. Like I said, Santa Fe Trail, historic Boggsville, and John Rawlings Center. Los Animas recently developed a long-term strategic plan to strengthen the business communities as well as its services to its citizens. Some of the top employers with Bent County are Mountain Prairie LLC, a subsidiary of Hormel Foods. Mountain Prairie continues to thrive and provide jobs to residents within a 6-county region. They're a leading national pork producer who will grow and add value to the agricultural producers in the region as well. Colorado Corrections of America, that's a private prison, is another strong regional employer in Baca County, in Bent County. CCA is a leading national company and regional employer providing approximately 200 jobs as well as adding value to the agricultural community by utilizing local producers. Bent County, I'm very happy to say, recently received the Small Community of the Year Award for 2016 at the EDCC conference. It's an award given annually to the strongest community with the population under 50,000. And we don't have the map up there. Bent County actually had the largest decline in population, but they're forecasted now to have growth. So we're really looking forward to that. The award was granted due to the repurpose and redevelopment of Fort Lyon Supportive Residential Community, which was used as a former VA hospital and Department of Corrections facility. Today, Fort Lyon facility is a place of healing and restoration for wounded but valuable lives, thanks to the fast response and legislative work of Bent County Development Foundation, Bent County Commissioners, and City of Los Animas, and an outpouring of supporters from the entire region. It currently houses 230 residents whom have sought shelter from the streets. Some of those residents have now become successfully integrated into small communities and have become full-time employees at local businesses. To date, Fort Lyon has served over 700 homeless residents within the past 4 years, with an amazing impact on lives of those residents and their families. Baca County is and always and has been a highly dependent county on agriculture. The county has experienced many booms and busts coinciding with the booms and busts in the agricultural economy. We have lots of recreational opportunities there, so it's a beautiful place to visit. Carrizo Canyon, Picture Canyon, Two Buttes Lake, and Turks Pond. Some of the main employers in Baca County include Southeast Colorado Hospital, local government, and a large hemp farm with greenhouses that provides valuable jobs. As mentioned before, Baca County is an agricultural community that has many entrepreneurial and country lollipops, but the list of small businesses continues to grow. Recreational opportunities. The private prison, also CCA, is a major employer in the county. However, the elected officials have become more proactive, seeing the economic potential and financial benefit to the county for allowing commercial cultivation of marijuana in the county. 10 commercial marijuana greenhouses will soon be built to allow for this commercial cultivation, and it is anticipated to add 100 jobs in the process. In addition, an oil drilling company is in the process of acquiring licensing and permitting to drill, which will give a much-needed boost to the economy and population. Kiowa County is considered a frontier because of its population density. It's a small county. There are 1,786 square miles with 0.8 persons per square mile. Yeah. The wide open spaces makes Kiowa County a perfect place for outdoor activities. They have the Great Plains Reservoir. It's part of the Queens State Wildlife Area. Another great place to come and visit. They also tout the Sand Creek Massacre National Historic Site. In April of 2007, it was established as the 391st National Park. Being considered a frontier does not mean things aren't happening or that you can't get services offered in more populated areas. In addition to farming and ranching, Wisebroad Memorial County Hospital and Nursing Home is a major employer there. When I visited with the economic developer there, she gave me a great report. Kiowa County is now working on a new daycare facility that will include a tornado shelter on property donated by Kiowa County Economic Development Foundation. In an effort to address housing shortage, SECED and Kiowa County Economic Development are working on a 6-unit apartment complex. And it's also on property donated by Kiowa County Economic Development. The 2.5-year-old Cobblestone Inn and Suites continues to be a successful venture and provides much-needed hotel accommodations for Kiowa County. They recently also had some new entrepreneurs with a C-store and grill. And if you travel to the area, you will now see a new Love's truck stop that is just opened yesterday, and it will provide much-needed jobs for local residents. Otero County, the largest of all 6 counties, continues to be successful in its entrepreneurial ventures. It too is a county with many tourism attractions and assets, such as the much-valued community college. And its major employer is Ark Valley Regional Medical Center. Otero touts a diverse list of businesses, from small business to advanced manufacturing. It continues to grow in the list of what is offered in the area. Some of the leading employers in the area include Coffee Holding Company, DeBorg Manufacturing, Falcon Industries, Lewis Nut & Bolt, Oliver Manufacturing, and the Sprout Tiny Homes. It's a great place to be. Hemp is another growing industry in Otero. Just as in Baca County, hemp companies are committed to producing CBD oil that is 100% U.S. grown and processed and 100% caustic solvent free. Hemp is regulated by Colorado Department of Agriculture and should not be confused with the marijuana. Hemp does not have the same intoxicating psychoactive properties as marijuana. Whole hemp has moved into an existing building in La Junta that had been vacant for 12 years. They have added over 30 jobs, and I'm sorry, I don't have the number as to what they've added in 2016. Prowers County is the second largest county in Region 6, and in an effort to better address economic development, a study was completed just recently to identify the needs of the county and to assess the strengths, weaknesses of the economy. This study helped Prowers County to recognize the need for innovative thinking and planning and a renewed effort to hire economic development champion for the county. They're on the right path for pursuing a strategic plan to grow and develop the county. Just like the rest of the counties, Prowers County is rich in heritage and tourism. Some of the favorite activities and attractions in Prowers County include Amachi, the relocation camp, Santa Fe Trail, and bird watching. Some of the larger employers in Prowers County include government, hospitals and clinics, our valuable community college, manufacturing such as Dragon, Colorado Mills, C.F. Meyer, and farming and ranching activities. As you can tell, I could go on and on about what's available in Southeast Colorado, but I know you guys are getting hungry. So I will tell you that we will continue our quest to partner with economic development agencies in our region to grow Southeast Colorado. We would like to see those numbers change in the coming years. We know we have a big task ahead of us, but we will work diligently to find ways to address the needs of Southeast Colorado. Thank you.